Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana
Janatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari
Jaya Radha Punjabihari
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari
Jashodhanandana Janarandana
Yashodanandana
Jamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahe Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhakti Uttama Shloke Tir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 5, text number 18. Tasyaiva heto prayeta kovido na labhyate yad brahmitam paradaha tallabhyate dukkavad anyatha sukham kalena sarvatra gabira rammasa tasyaiva heto prayeteta kovido labhyate yad brahmatam upari adaha tallabhyate dukkavadanyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabira rammasa. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation, the Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the persons Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful aim, which is not obtained even by wandering from the topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patala. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just as in course of time we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. Purport. Every man, everywhere, is trying to obtain the greatest amount of sense enjoyment by various endeavors. Some men are busy, engaged in trade, industry, economic development, political supremacy, etc. And some of them are engaged in fruitive works to become happy in the next life by attaining higher planets. It is said that on the moon, the inhabitants are fit for greater sense enjoyment by drinking somarasa, and the Pitralokas is obtained by good charitable work. So there are various programs for self-enjoyment, either during this life or in the life after death. Some are trying to reach the moon or other planets by some mechanical arrangement, for they are very anxious to get into such planets without doing good work. But it is not to happen. By the law of the Supreme, different places are meant for different grades of living beings according to the work they have performed. By good work only, as prescribed in the scriptures, can one obtain birth in a good family, opulence, good education, and good bodily features. We see also that even in this life, one obtain good education or money by good work. Similarly, in our next birth, we get such desirable positions only by good work. Otherwise, it would not so happen that two persons born in the same place at the same time are seen differently placed according to the previous birth. But all such material positions are impermanent. The positions in the topmost Brahmaloka and in the lowest Patala are also changeable according to our own work. The philosophically inclined persons must not be tempted by such changeable positions. He should try to get into the permanent life of bliss and knowledge, where he will not be forced to come back again to the miserable material world, either in this and that planet. Miseries and mixed happiness are two features of material life, and they are obtained in Brahmaloka and in other lokas also. They are obtained in the life of the demigods and also in the lives of dogs and hawks. The miseries and mixed happiness of all living beings are only of different degree and quality. But no one is free from the miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Similarly, everyone has his distinct happiness also. No one can get more or less of these things simply by personal endeavor. Even if they are obtained, they can be lost again. One should not, therefore, waste time with these flimsy things. One should only endeavor to go back to God. That should be the mission of everyone's life. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मां ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्योदिभास्यात् देशतारिणे मूकां करोति वाचालं मंगलं गायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्द माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमो नमः। तस्यैव हेतो तस्यैव हेतो प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद् भ्रमताम् उपार्याध्या Tallabhyate dukkavad anyatha sukam kalena sarvatra kabira ramasa. This is a very powerful shloka. Prabhupada has quoted many, many times. If you search for the information in Vanipedia, these particular verses are explained in many, many verses associated with it in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Prabhupada explains also that this is a very effective and most intelligent verse, because here it's very clearly said that the persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtained even by wandering from the Brahmaloka or down to the Patal-loka, right? If you notice, these instructions by Narada Rishi are so fine and refined in its nature. The previous verse, it says, the instructions is a very interesting point. You see, these few words, Tekta swa dharmam charanam bhujayam hari, one who has forsaken his material occupation to engage in the devotion service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage. Yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duty, does not gain anything. If you notice, there is a pattern in which these particular verses are being designed to inspire Vyasadeva to come out with a very refined book or a complete compilation of giving devotional service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the highest epitome in his actual writings. So here, Prabhupada also explains this, and also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is another verse that intelligent set of people is the one who actually should focus on a purposeful end. Krishnavarnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Pashadam Yagner Sankirtana Prayer Ajantihi Sumedasaha. A person who is intelligent, not just intelligent, super intelligent, is the only set of people they can take up to this process of Krishna consciousness. Right? Krishna comes in the form of Akrishna, Lord Chaitanya in the golden avatar. But here, even if you trespass yourself to any of these particular 14 planetary systems which we are in, whether it's Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Tala, Tala, Rasatala, Matala, Patala, or on the topmost systems, it doesn't really matter. So these instructions by Narada Rishi are first priceless. Second, it's the real elixir to the real life of a soul. The focus center is only to be having a very purposeful end as a living entity. One who has forsaken these material conditions just simply by taking devotional service as their life and soul, even if they are tempted, even they are very immature in that stage, even probably they would have just touched base a little bit here and there, it doesn't matter. There is nothing called loss or diminution in this process. But whereas in the other hand, a non-devotee or a person who is completely materialistic in his outlook and is all the time only focused on job, work, and anything related to his own occupational duties, right? At the end of his life, he doesn't carry anything with him. He's once again going to come back into this material world. But whereas we are looking at an element of happiness in every aspect of duty or activities we perform. This is naturally bounded because we are all seeking happiness-seeking elements and living entities. So as far as happiness is derived from Sanchayam and is concerned, it can be anyway obtained automatically in the course of time. Just as in the course of time, we obtain miseries even without being asked for it. No one asks for any miseries to come on us, but still it comes on its own. In the same way, happiness also is being given you as a quota. So once you feel happy, then obviously sometimes you feel sad also, because this is a process of this material energy, material world. This entire material world is designed in such a way that you are entitled to only go through these kind of cycles so that you are entangled, embargled into this system all the time. Where is the question of your time to spend time in serving the Lord? Either it is Adhyatmika, Either it's Adi Bhautika or it's either Adi Devika. All these three kleshas are bombarding us in every different directions. How much ever we attempt to move out of it, it is not possible. That is why Krishna is telling that it's very important that Traigunya Vishayaveda Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. You need to attempt to come out of this three modes of material nature, Arjuna. It's very important for us. Unless until you come out of this, how do you expect? Nir Yoga Kshemam Atmaman. That's the very important element we all need to understand it. If you notice, we also, as attempting devotees or practitioners in devotional service, everyone is looking for happiness either through dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Even at moksha, someone is always trying to look at happiness. This happiness quotient is always embodied into each of the element or each of the activities which we perform. But whereas if you want to get connected with that happiness, that blissful state where it is eternal, that's only platform available is Krishna consciousness, which can give us happiness to the extent there is no cessation, without any cessation, without any business dealings. It's pure love, right? You can see that there are many people. I remember telling one time that there is a family of Brahmin set of people in the south of India in a place called Mangalore. Their only job is to do a specific kind of a daily Nitya Yajna, means every day they do a special fire sacrifice to please the moon god. They are called Somyajis. They only do this particular aspect all through their years. And then their families, and it's been coming from decades and decades and generations over generations. So what are these people trying to do? They are trying to, feel the bliss or happiness by going into the moon planets, by little drinking some somarasa or whatever. Or someone can attain the Pitru Lokas if they do some good charitable work. By the law, this is very clear. You do good work, you get something good. You do something bad, you're always going to be entitled to go into the bad zone. But this again is binding us very strongly. But an intelligent person should not be bothered about this good and bad activities, but instead he should look at an option of overcoming this good and bad and being very resolute determination. Taya aparata chetasa. Right? So with one focused attention, we need to see that we go out of this modes of material nature and go out of this world where there is no repeated birth and death again. That is what we need to overcome. So one should endeavor to go back to Godhead. That's the idea. Prabhupada says, whatever may be the case, don't think how we have come here. Instead, look at an option of how you can go out of this place. So this option is available to us by the wonderful, glorious Lord Chaitanya's movement, Srila Prabhupada's grace, by his empowering us, by giving us that fortune, which we never had in any way. We are definitely one of the, what do you call us, a bunch or a group of people amongst the many others being chosen, even though we are all Kali Yuga rejects, but still this wonderful opportunity has been given to us so that we can make our mission a success in our life. That can happen only from the start of chanting, and chanting. Chanting the holy name of the Lord. Krishna is very kind that Nam Nam Akari Bodha Nija Sarva Shaktis. He is given all the same amount of energy, all the same amount of power. He has given everything in one single place through his holy names. If we start chanting the holy name of Krishna, we will definitely not being bothered or getting disturbed, not getting carried away by anything in this material world. Because we are talking about pure love. We are talking about one focused attention. That can happen. That will happen. That should happen. Because by the chanting process, there is a solid cleansing of a heart. All these small things which are materially associated, right? Even among devotees, we see this. Because the purification has to come in the midst of the devotees. It doesn't come somewhere else. And then that kind of a purification is much stronger for us. We cannot even contemplate of it. But with the devotees, it is pure love, and that's how the slow purification happens, which we won't even know about it. So chanting is the process which can actually help us. Studying the scriptures is the process which will help us. Devotee association who are better than us philosophically, stronger in Krishna conscious practice, that will help us. Accepting the remnants of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, that helps. Accepting a chance to see the Lord's pastimes as our life's gratefulness by going to the holy dhams and being with the devotees, that helps. If we see this, we see love in every single entity without any judgment or discriminational thought. This is what you will actually come out to a wonderful state, a very, very, what you call as a state where you will feel the happiness in seeing others. Sometimes now what happens is if one devotee comes this side and say, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, why don't you chant some rounds more? You have got a lot of time, right? And the next time you see that devotee 1 kilometer distance, you'll say, Hare Baba, ye aa gaya bhai. So I need to move out of this place, or I need to escape from this place. This we all do that, right? Because this is natural for us. Why? Because we don't want to take instructions. We don't want to accept anyone giving us good advices. But instead, we will think about it. Okay, this lady is coming, this man is coming, so let's look at what is the best deal available in the market. We are not going anywhere by that. The process is not that. Process, Prabhupada says very clearly in this wonderful work, right? Srimad Bhagavatam is very clear. It doesn't give you alternatives. It's straightforward says, if you are intelligent, if you're philosophically inclined, and you need to have the desire to go back to Godhead, obviously use that particular element of yours given by the Lord himself, because Krishna is the one who gives the intelligence, right? Sarvasya jaham riddhi sannivishtam matar smriti jnanam upanancha. No one else can give the intelligence, but Krishna has chosen you to be giving that intelligence. So we should utilize in the right perspective. So once we start using this, then whatever challenge, unfortunately, we are all going through some kind of challenge because of our past. We should agree, first of all, that is most important thing. Identifying the problem is the most important thing than executing to remove the problem or challenge, right? Unfortunately, we are all going through those problems, those challenges, because of our past life. It's got nothing to do with the current one. So let's agree to release that into the nature. Then you will see a change in your heart. You'll become more sober, you'll become more upright, and it is that which will appeal that love within you in the form of Paramatma. Then automatically you will be guided by the Supreme Lord who is seated in your heart, and the Acharyas, of course, through the Chaitya Guru. Then you will see that intelligence being used in a purposeful manner comes into being. We need to believe in yourself first. Every one of us, we need to believe in ourselves that you have been chosen to understand, that you have been chosen to go back to that place where there is no need for a sunlight or a moonshine, a self-manifested world by itself. How many of you here wants to go there? I would want to definitely take a vote. Everyone should attempt for it. We need to like ourselves to go back to that place. Yet Gadva nani vartante tad namam paramam mama. Krishna is again and again telling that very clearly, right? We know the pastimes of Santa Tukaram, right? Even though he was so dedicated in serving the Lord, he was all the time singing the glories of the Lord, he was giving wonderful Bhagavatam classes, right? He was not bothered about what is happening around him. When he gave a class, he said in the class openly that the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is sending me the chariot to go back to the Lord's abode. If anyone wants to join me, you are most welcome to do so. He did not have his relatives. He did not have his wife saying yes. They were all thinking that this is a man who is completely deranged. He doesn't understand the reality of this world. He is a mega waste. But the lady who was actually a cleaner in his house, she was just washing the vessels. She came out and said, I am ready to come with you. Right? What a greatest blessing that lady got. with Santa Tukaram, immediately on the same plane, they left, just relinquishing this body. Can you imagine? The person who was being given a chance, the first chance was given to his own Santa Tukaram's wife, but she didn't take it. So now is a chance for us. This wonderful platform of Krishna consciousness given by us, given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, is giving us a chance that to believe ourselves that we can go back. We have the capability. We have been empowered, right? This is very important, to go back to that place where that place has got everything what is needed for us, and we don't need to come back to this world. That is an intelligent person. That is looking for absolute truth in our life. When it says Atata Brahma Jignasa, look and ask at very specific questions which are going to give you the right answers to your existence. This is what we need to look at. We see this as an excellent instructions coming through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Narada Rishi's instructions to Srila Vyasadeva is not so small. It's an instruction for the entire cosmos to accept. And so we just accept it wholeheartedly and prepare ourselves for that. We have to prepare for the journey. We can do it. Srila Prabhupada says, just do it. And it's not that it can't be done. But, oh, no, not me. It should be someone else. Prabhu, I'm not very strong. No. Every one of us here is empowered by Srila Prabhupada. Today we see this in this world. Empowering has a different meaning by itself, right? For a devotee, empowering means you are accepting the blessings of the acharyas. You are seeking the prayers of great devotees. Their prayers are on blessings. They are praying to the Lord that, oh Lord, please make sure that these living entities are back into your lotus feet. That prayers, that blessings from the acharyas, that is empowerment for a spiritualist, right? But today, in the world in which we are living in, we can see that the word empowering itself has different meaning. But in the light of Bhagavata, empowering fundamentally means that accepting the Supreme Lord's grace on us and the servants who are blessing us to become a simple, humble servant eternally. And that will see a massive change in your heart and your soul. That is empowering. Because otherwise, we are talking about empowering in this world is, oh, I'm empowering because I'm very bodily conscious. No, that's not what Krishna wants us. One day or the other, we have to relinquish this and let's get ready with the journey. We have to someday or the other, tomorrow, why tomorrow? Next moment when the death knocks us doors, we are I'm at least honestly not ready yet. But I'm not talking about others. I can't talk about others. I'm not a spokesperson to everyone here. But we have to touch our heart and we have to tell ourselves and find out ourselves that are we ready if the death knocks? If it is not, that means we are not ready to prepare ourselves or start the process of preparation. The one good thing what we have in our hands is, as intelligent people, right? We are 25, 26 people here listening to something very important instructions from Narada Rishi to Vyasadeva, is that we have started the process. Somehow or the other, without our knowledge, this process is triggered on. So this is what we call as Ajnata Sukruti. Just by simply touching the book of Srimad Bhagavatam, just by hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures, just by thinking about Srila Prabhupada or meditating about Srila Prabhupada. We don't even have to worry about the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. We simply have to meditate on Srila Prabhupada's costless grace on us. Someone would have said, okay, take this prasadam. They would not even said that it's a prasadam. Hey, it's just a biscuit. So you have it. Your trigger for your spiritual bank account has already started. You don't even know about it. How many people are getting that mercy of the Lord? So many people, we don't even know who they are, that being empowered on it, right? Every grain has the name of the person who is going to take that Supreme Lord's grace and mercy. This is the power and this is the empowerment. This is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness does not exist in some unrealistic or impersonalistic method of thinking something. It's pure personal. It's pure dynamic. It is not static. We are talking about real love. That love can come only when you have that love which you can share to others. And here is a statement by Narada Rishi, very, very perfectly mentioned. Why should you attempt for this so much of effort to get happiness in this material world. You don't need to work hard for it. It is anyway going to come to you, just like how the miseries are going to come to you without your request. No one goes and requests for, yes, I need some misery, please. No one does that, right? If you go to the end of the road in the shopping mall or in any of the Sainsbury's or any of the supermarket, you will at least see one or two homeless people sitting outside. What do? They have been tuned, mechanical. What do they say? The only word they say is, spare some change, please. This is what they say. Why? Because their mind is triggered on that. Krishna here is giving us a very beautiful instruction that don't look at happiness here in this world. It's a wrong place. Dukkhalayam. Where is Sukhalayam here? I have never written it as Sukhalayam. Krishna says it's Dukkhalayam. The place only where misery exists and nothing else. That's why we need to work out in a place called Vaikunta. Go to that place, Vaikunta, the place where there is no anxiety. There is no concerns, no in feelings of hatredness, in feelings of ego, no lust, no greed, no envy. This is what we are actually attempting to do this in this world, in the beautiful space called Krishna consciousness. And this platform, we need to utilize it in the most appropriate manner. If we don't use it, we will feel that, oh, maybe we have not yet come to that level of lamentation. His Divine Grace, Gauranga Maharaj, was giving a class in Bhagvatam in Bhubaneswar temple. That is the last temple which Srila Prabhupada constructed before he went to his different world of preaching. So that place, in Bhubaneswar, there's a place called IRC village where Krishna Balaram temple is. Maharaj gave a class. Maharaj said that if you want Krishna, if you want to go back to the Lord's abode, learn the art of crying. And each and every temple Srila Prabhupada constructed is a place for crying, for that craving that I need to be with the Lord. I need to be with the wonderful associates of the Lord. I want to serve them to the eternity for the bliss, for that bliss which I wanted to continuously have it. So this is what the acharyas are requesting us. But we are trying to cry for something which is very futile, very temporary in its nature. Sometimes we cry if we have some of our kith and kin passing away. Sometimes we cry that if we don't get a better car. Sometimes we cry that, oh, I wish I had a better house. These are temporal in its nature. But when do we change ourselves? When do we change our heart to feel that happiness to come from an eternal feeling of comfort? Only Krishna can provide us, and he is ready to provide us. But why are we not ready for acceptance? That's because we have closed our heart. We have not opened our heart. Moment we open our heart, Krishna can flood it, right? This chanting of the holy name is the flood. It's the only solace in this forest fire. Lord Chaitanya says in the first verse of the Shikshashtakam, Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. That's not some simple fire. It's a forest fire. Forest fire doesn't say that I'm going to go in this direction. It spreads like a wildfire. And that's what we are working very hard and hard and hard. But what are we? Then you may ask this question, Prabhuji, then how do I survive? You're saying that don't work hard. No, devotees work smart. They don't work hard. They work hard for Krishna, but they work in a smarter manner in their material practice so that they are sustaining this body and soul together. That's all. We got nothing called, once Prabhupada was giving a evening darshan. Giriraj Swami Maharaj's parents came. Kirtanand Maharaj was there also. Prabhupada was saying that devotees don't have any aspirations. Their only aspiration is to serve Krishna. They don't have any big goals in their life. Their lives is to become more and more refined more and more intelligent, because they have taken the highest truth in the entire cosmos. Satyam Param Dhimahi. No one else knows. The demigods have to come back again. They come and jump themselves to one of the living entities of this material world where they want to become a simple devotee and accept the truth and love that this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna movement is giving. Right? So Prabhupada was saying this, and then Kirtan Maharaj said, no, it doesn't mean that devotees don't have any aspirations. It is just that Prabhupada immediately cut. He said, yes, I'm telling you straight, devotees don't have any aspirations. This was Giriraj Maharaj's parents. Giriraj Maharaj gave in a class, and Maharaj said this. This was Prabhupada's clear case of
Is it my screen or is it frozen for everyone?
I think we lost connection, Vishal Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, meanwhile, can we do the chanting once Vishal Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Apologies, I think there is a network issue here in this area. I missed out. I don't know where I was lost.
You were talking about that aspirations and clarification from Prabhupada.
Okay. Yes, from Giriraj Maharaj's lecture. Yes. So Giriraj Maharaj was very clear that Prabhupada was very, very shrewd about what he said, and he did not compromise on any of this, whether the 4 regulatory principles or the 16 rounds of chanting. So Prabhupada's only thought was that he wanted to make sure that every single devotee understands that there is no way by which they have got any living entity for that matter, and for the devotees also. He said that you don't have any good qualities. Prabhupada said that you did not have anything, because in lecture, many times Prabhupada said that I have given you that good fortune. So if you have a chance, there is a beautiful book on compilation from Gaur Govind Maharaj's lifestyle, life history. It's called When Good Fortune Arises. If you have a chance, you should read this. This is a book which will actually give you a love. How Maharaj was very, very equipoised, and he was not. When he used to give a lecture in Bhubaneswar, that place was a God-forsaken place. God-forsaken place. Why? Because it was completely out of the entire thing. It was in a forest. When Maharaj used to give lectures, right, he used to start the lecture around some 50, 60 people used to be there. And it used to continue like that. And at the point of time, only around 6 or 7 devotees or maximum 10 devotees used to be next to him. After say 4 hours or something, right? 4 hours of continuous lectures. He used to, when he starts at around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, he'll go up to 11 o'clock. Only the 10 devotees used to be next to him. And all those 10 devotees are sannyasis today. And these 10 devotees used to say that, in fact, you can read it in that book. When Maharaj was giving a lecture, after the lecture was there, he used to, one time he just did his dhoti like this, and one snake fell from his lap. Maharaj was not bothered whether it was this thing or not. Can we do that? Janivas Prabhu was doing during the floods in 2006 or something. Janivas Prabhu was worshipping Narsimdev, and he had an asan. The floods were there. The floods of Ganges were touching Narsimdev's lotus feet, and he was trying to sit in a place. Next to him, there was a snake. It was also sitting and worshipping the Lord. These are the devotees of not this world. They are equally prowess. They are coming. Vidya Vinay Sapmane Brahmane Gavi Astine Sunicheva Sapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. This is what these devotees are saying us. Focus, focus, focus. You are all intelligent people. Don't go behind something which is glittering and show you that it's gold. This is not a place where you need to absorb yourself with. Absorb in Krishna consciousness. This platform of Krishna consciousness is absolutely available for each and every one of us. And it is on to us how we can take it up and practice Krishna consciousness to the best of our abilities. There might be some challenges left, right, and center because of our ego, lust, greedy, false ego, envy, and some kind of disturbances do come on and off into the system. But this is the place where you need to purify yourself with. And that person who is actually intelligent, because Lord Chaitanya himself is saying, Sumedasaha, those are the people who can take to this process of Krishna consciousness, and those who have got some inclination towards philosophically understanding it. If we don't have that philosophy strength in our system, everything becomes very sentimental and we cannot sustain for a longer duration or on a longer run. That is why you need a resolute determination to absorb that philosophical bent of mind. Then any kind of disturbance which comes across to us, we will not bother too much. We'll just simply take it as, okay, Krishna wants us to know a little bit more. He wants us to purify ourselves. He has given me a small glimpse of what this material world is. Sometimes we cut our finger and we should not think that, oh my God, I cut my finger and then brood over it. Instead of that, we should be thinking, at least Krishna has given me a glimpse to remember him. Maybe my entire hand would have gone today, but somehow or the other, Krishna is just giving a glimpse. Let me contemplate. Let me think about the Supreme Lord. That's where our power of Krishna consciousness comes into picture. Today, we are able to do all these things because our food, clothing, and shelter is covered. Otherwise, why will all these 27, 28 people sit in this room, in your own bedroom or in your own hall, living room? No, our food, clothing, and shelter is completed. It's covered by the Supreme Lord. And Krishna is telling that again and again. Yoga Kshemo Mahamyaham. Why will he not say that? Why? Because he is the one who is protector for us. He is our divine protector. And we don't have anyone else. Even if you want to buy a Mercedes, you need to go and ask him. There's no other person. And why will he ask someone else? There is no need for it. And Krishna is very clean and clear about his requirements. You come back to me. I will ensure that you don't come back to this world. But if we are saying, no, I don't want to go there. I've got a lot of things here. That even Indra did that. He was wonderfully sitting in very happily in the hawk's body. Even Lord Brahma say, what are you doing here? I need you in the Devaloka. You are the Lord of the Devas. That is why he is called Deva the Deva in the Loka. And you are left everything. You are sitting in hawk's body and you are saying that this is my family. Don't disturb me. How is it possible? Right? So this is where our power of Krishna consciousness comes into picture. And that's very much individually triggered. There are two ways of actually attempting to practice Krishna consciousness. With the devotees, it's a collective help, collective teamwork, and collaborations. We all do it together because that's where the synergy is. But individually, when we practice Krishna consciousness, when no one else sees us or watches us, is where your strength of Krishna conscious practice through philosophically inclined strength. That is intelligence in practice. So that is why we all have to do it someday or the other in our life, whether today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow, but we need to be in that line. So Prabhupada has given us enough books for the rest of our lifetimes and maybe in a couple of lifetimes also. We simply need to spend some time understanding Srila Prabhupada's book, understand what is written in the pages, and go and seek that guidance and blessings from those devotees who are much stronger than us in this practice of Krishna conscious platform. And then we will see a great change in your heart and the happiness into your soul. I'll stop here. If there's any questions or reflections, we'll take it from there.
Thanks, Prabhu, for nice class. Prabhu, I have one query about the aspiration. Like Prabhupada mentioned, like, okay, there should not be any aspiration. Is thinking like going back to Godhead, is that an aspiration?
That is not aspiration. That is your proximity to the Supreme Lord. You don't aspire to go back to Godhead. You are being entitled for it because you don't belong to this world. First of all, Mama Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. You are eternally connected with Krishna. So what's aspiration? Our aspiration is that Jivera Swarupai, Krishna and Nitya Das. You are Krishna conscious, you are a Krishna Das by default. That is your birthright. You don't aspire for that. Aspire is something you go search for it. Oh, I think I aspire to become a CEO of this company. That is aspiration. But here Krishna is saying that you are my servant eternally. And why you want to aspire to be a servant? But you can be aspiring to become a better servant. That is aspiration to the right framework. You got it? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone has questions? Prabhu, I believe everyone is thinking.
Yeah, thinking or no questions is better. Like no news is good news. If you ask for some questions, then there'll be a challenge all the time. Hare Krishna.
Just thought of to comment, Prabhu. It was such an empowering lecture that I felt after long, maybe many months. As you mentioned, lots of quotes from Prabhupada. So I felt very blessed, today hearing you, and it's like lots of powerful instructions and to guide us. And I also remember, I don't know, I cannot give reference, but I remember somewhere maybe Prabhupada expressed that we are not working on, or maybe some other sannyasi for art of living. We are working on art of dying. So when you were discussing about how to we can the time period, we don't have time period. So we need to work on art of dying.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhupada says that we don't work on art of living, but we are working on art of leaving, not dying. We don't use the word dying. Dying is very, sometimes it's very, negative feeling of, oh, I have to leave this body, right? Instead of saying dying, you said leaving, Leaving. So in that manner, oh, okay, that's all right. Little softer. Yes, Sundar Prabhu.
Such a very nice class.
What is nice in this class, Prabhu?
lot of like good points to take.
Okay.
So, like, how to do art of leaving, bro? What is the best way?
What do you mean by best way? There is nothing called best way, worst way. Whatever Prabhupada has given in these books, follow that instructions and you are already done. You don't have to worry something else. We don't recreate the wheel. We don't reinvent the wheels. We don't have anything else extra. We don't need anything extra. Krishna has given everything what is needed through Prabhupada in his books. So Prabhupada is saying books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, utility is the principle. So simply follow that. And you don't have to worry extra. You don't have to, Prabhu, what is the best way? What is the worst way? We are not looking at best case scenario, worst case scenario. We are looking at a life which is empowered for it. You have to take it. This is your life, your choice. You can be a devotee, but then Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, even among devotees, not many can come back to Krishna. Manushanam sahasreshu kasti jatiti siddhaye. How many people? Even you might be a super devotee, but still it's not enough. If you have to go back to Krishna, you have to practice this very, very strong and concentrated. Tivrena bhaktivena. You know that, what is that, jihadis? ISIS. Someone in the Afghanistan, those people are jihadis. They are so empowering, right? What do? Hook or crook, I'm going to kill this person. But they are at a bodily level. But what is Krishna saying? Tivrena bhakti yogena yajete purusham param. You have to be tivra bhakti. Akama sarvakama mokshakama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena. That is powering. Then automatically the life will change. And not just yours, for others. Okay. Yes.
I can see Shaina Mataji has written something on chat message. Mataji, do you have any question?
No, when good fortune arises, yeah, that's the book name. Gaur Govind Maharaj. Okay, Prabhu, if there is any questions, if there is no questions, then it's great. Is there any announcements otherwise?
First of all, I want to mention, like, I've seen some new devotees on this call. So welcome all. Thank you so much. We have Sunday morning program every Sunday, of course. And yeah, welcome again. Please do attend. We have a nice Bhagavatam class by different gurus, and please do listen. Yes, I don't have any announcements. Probably any other announcements about Rath Yatras or upcoming Rath Yatras?
That will come on, Prabhu. We'll post it on the groups.
Okay.
Yeah, they're working on the posters and other things.
Yeah.
Ramkane Prabhu, any announcement as such? Because some of the devotees have gone to some festivals, consciousness festival and all that. So they are not yet here. But there are some devotees here. Ramkane Prabhu, any announcements?
July 3rd, we are having a program, right? So the self-care workshop by His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. The timings and the details will be posted very soon in the groups. So, but mark the date, July 3rd.
Okay, that's good. Very nice. Okay. All right. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Savor the whole world. Jag Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vanchakapaturvestak Pasandebhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas ki jai.